The biggest scandal in American history. That's what Scott Jennings calls it. Our former president, President Wheelchair-autopen is what we call him from now on. President Wheelchair-autopen was our president. And we all knew. My thing is, like, we all saw it. But half of America lied and said we didn't see it. Is it human nature for us to just lie for all sides, meaning that it applies to both sides equally? This is a human nature thing that would affect the right as much as the left? Or is it a uniquely leftist thing to believe a lie? That is, are we not really standing in the truth if you believe in the Constitution? Or if you believe in populism? Or if you believe in conservatism? Are we not closer to the forms and shapes of the capital T truth? Even if conservatism is not the gospel itself. Welcome to Doug in Exile. Look, my face it keeps healing. Oh, we're getting healed. It's going good. I went to men's Bible study. I'm on fire today. We were reading Isaiah 50, chapter 55. You know, if you don't read the Bible, then you are not getting God's word. How's that for a prescription? Read the Bible. It's God talking to you, not through magic. He just talks to you. Okay, now here's Scott Jennings on President Wheelchair-autopen. It's the cover-up, everybody.
If things go south at the debate, me, Barack, Nancy, and Hakeem have a plan B. Schumer would later deny it. It's a political problem that we have here.
Did he mean go south at the debate in that Joe Biden totally, had a malfunction the way we saw, or did he mean just go south at the debate like he doesn't perform well? The fact
it could have been both.
The fact that
that's Chuck Schumer, which he denies this conversation now. I have to put that quote into context. Chuck Schumer said that he, Nancy Pelosi, and Hakeem Jeffries had gotten together, and if something went wrong with Joe Biden's debate, remember Joe Biden's debate was early enough, way before normal presidential debates. It was so early in the summer that it's likely that the Democrat Party organized it so that Biden would have to prove himself early to remain in the game, to remain with the donor class. Or if he failed at the debate, they would have to move him out and bring in Kamala Harris or whatever other candidate they wanted. That's why the debate was so uncharacteristically early summer. Okay. They always knew there would be a B plan. And now they're denying that they ever had that conversation. Remember, this is the Democrat Party working against the Democrat voters, their votes. They ordained all these people. They always think they're smarter than the electorate.
he was only concerned about the optics and not about the fact that the president of the United States might be in cognitive decline, might be mentally impaired, to me speaks volumes about the lack of character of Chuck Schumer. But
not just Chuck Schumer guy, Scott Jennings. Look at the lady on the right. I like this. Look at her going like, oh, she's going, how can I remain a Democrat and still look half intelligent? Oh, it's killing me. What he's saying is Chuck Schumer cared more about the optics of how it looked with Biden failing versus a genuine care for the American people. The Democrat Party doesn't even respect the office of president. They think you can replace it with an auto pen in a wheelchair. Just any old person. They don't believe it's important. They only care about how it looks. So they just kind of plastered over rotting walls. They whitewashed over asbestos and poisonous wood. They just covered it up and just said, auto pen wheelchair doesn't matter. What matters is if you find out is what scared them. Not that America, the car, we've said all last year, that daddy's not driving the car. Joe Biden's not driving. That never bothered the Democrats, that the person that America elected was not driving the car. Someone else was usurping presidential authorities. And now, of course, the Democrats show their disrespect in having all their judges. They don't care about presidential power. They obviously didn't care if they were willing to lie for Joe Biden and lie for Kamala Harris, who's probably even more impaired than Joe Biden. I got bad news for the Democrats. You're all morally impaired, all lying. If you're not able to look in the mirror, and again, they're all saying, well, Biden may be in a coma, but it's better than Trump. That's how evil they are, and that's how much they hate Republicans. They don't just think you're wrong. They think you are a Nazi. They think you are on the level with Hitler. Remember that about your friends at church. They think conservatives, Christians, evangelicals, conservative evangelicals, populists, they think you're worse than Adolf Hitler. They'd think you were worse than the devil if they even believed in the devil, but they're so atheistic, they don't even have that going for them.
Idea that we did not know about this for the years leading up to the presidential campaign. We all saw it with our own eyes. Video after video, speech after speech.
Democrat lady nodded on that. I want to call out and respect her at least compliance with that. We all saw it. That goes against the Democrat cover-up. So respect for Democrat woman on that to nod and say, we, meaning all Americans, including the left, including Democrats, all saw it. She saw it and she's acknowledging it. Yeah, we saw it, his decline. It was clear.
Statement after statement. The Her report. The fact that we have people saying today, oh, I didn't know. We had no idea, is outrageous. That's number one. Number two, the cover-up is outrageous. And number three, people were arguing with a straight face that this man could serve 4 more years until, of course, it became untenable at the debate. Honestly, Jake and Alex have done a great service here. This book needs to be written. These stories need to be told because we've lived through the greatest scandal in modern American political history. The
greatest scandal of modern American political history. And I'm sorry, Scott Jennings. I know I agree. It's great that Tapper and Alex from Axios wrote this book exposing Biden's decline. However, you're a little bit too much of a company man here protecting CNN's Jake Tapper. Credit doesn't go too much to Jake Tapper for writing a tell-all book that doesn't start with my confession on how I lied and how my entire network lied, how all of us are liars, perhaps, except Scott Jennings and Kevin O'Leary. Everyone else was lying, is what the book should be called. Not enough of that. In fact, not at all. They're really focusing more on, we're going to inform you that, I know you didn't know this. I know this is mind-blowing, but Biden was in decline. It's like everyone knew that. What they didn't understand, the real confession is, and the media covered it up. The media brainwashed you, even though you knew he was in decline. They convinced you to be afraid. They convinced the whole left half of America voted for Kamala Harris. That's someone in a coma or a very low IQ woman, perhaps the most low IQ. I think almost anyone else could have won but Kamala Harris. She's so bad. But they went with the DEI. They went with a black female, and a big mistake. And Joe Biden really did burn them on that one. But what Scott Jennings says here, I just want to emphasize this, and I want to really underline this. This is the theme of this show. It is one of the greatest, if not the greatest scandal of American history was what we watched over the last year. Biden, our country's president, was autopen in a wheelchair. You did not have a functioning president. No way in hell. Might be the first time America didn't have a president since George Washington, the least presidential we've had. There's that Truman dude that was in a wheelchair, and his wife, was it Eleanor Roosevelt? Whoever was the dude in the wheelchair, that she was basically running the country. And in this case, perhaps Jill Biden or perhaps this cabal of Democrats, but we did not have a president. It's a scandal. You were lied to. Everyone in this room, this entire network of CNN lied, covered it up for 4 years professionally with all the money and all the will they could, and the peer pressure. We did that video yesterday of Jake Tapper lecturing Laura Trump, who said Biden is in decline. He appears to be impaired. And he goes, how dare you? Are you a medical doctor? He's saying that to the American people. You think Biden's in decline? Oh, are you a biologist? Are you a medical doctor? Are you a scientific expert? Do you have to be to know that Biden was in decline, or that Kamala Harris was a moron, or that Democrats are liars? You don't have to be an expert. Someone's going to say, oh, Doug, are you a pastor? Are you an expert in ethics to declare the Democrat Party liars? You don't have to be a genius. You don't have to be Gandhi. You don't have to be Buddha. You don't have to be Jesus. Open your eyes. We have eyeballs. The Democrat Party are liars. Your friends are liars. I have good friends that just took a friend of mine out. They were all Democrats. My friend was a Republican, and they all looked at him and said, like, how dare you not underline and support the trans agenda? And it really hurt my Republican friend's heart. He's conservative because they implied he was racist because he's a conservative. And I said to him, no, they're in a cult. They live a lie. They are people of the lie. Their entire worldview is about lying and then firing you or peer pressuring you out of promotions and jobs because they're in a cult. They're liars.
Cover up of the decline of the president, the argument that he can serve 4 more years. If he were in office today, if he had somehow won and were in office today, you'd have the same people on TV today saying, he's fine.
So you're dang right. If Joe Biden won, if he won that debate and then he won, you would have every person in this room, Abby Phillips, all of them, all around the table, all of CNN, Jake Tapper, saying Biden's fine. He's totally fine in office. The exact same guy. They would be arguing that he was fine. Kamala Harris, they'd go, she's a winner. Her winning black woman, liberal black woman ideas, the trans issue is so correct. Bill Maher would be saying, the trans issue is so correct. Right now, of course, they're all running away from it. But he'd go, divisivism against your hateful conservative friends is so correct. They would all be saying if they won, that's all they wanted to do is win. It's like in politics, you have one job. You have one job. Trump, you have one job, and that is to win. And then you better hope that your guy is also telling the truth, because if he's not, you're stuck with him because you won. That's the problem. Joe Biden won the first time, and they won with a lying criminal, molester. He's evil, and they won with him. So then they go, well, now all we can do is cover for him and pull for our guy because all we do is win. They got stuck with this guy and Kamala Harris, and frankly, their whole party, which is like rotten fruit falling off a tree with flies and maggots all over it. And now they have to go like, well, let's polish this up and call it a steak dinner because this is what we got to work with is rotten, wormy fruit. We're the Democrat Party. We got to just, boost up this. It's like how Weekend at Bernie's. It's like a corpse. They have to dress up this corpse and take it to a wedding and say, and everyone's going like, I smell dead people. And they go like, oh, no, you're just, you're smelling your own upper lip. You're crazy. This guy, he's fine. He's living, the corpse bride, her face is falling off in this bridal gown. They have put her in this corpse in a beautiful wedding dress. Oh no, isn't she lovely? I think, when you get used to it, if you think about it in an academic way, she smells, how do I say, like blue cheese. I'm lost.
Closed doors, he's fine, and you know it. It wasn't just deception about a campaign. The man was the sitting president of the United States. There's more at stake here than just politics. There's in-the-moment decision-making. Was the country at risk? Who was making decisions on behalf of the country? Because obviously the president was impaired, and there were people who knew it. Those same people were lying about it publicly, and now the real question is, who was making decisions behind the scenes? You can't just move past it.
Why did
it happen? And
AutoPen wheelchair. Don't just move past it. Don't try and just cement over it. Don't just try to cover it up. Everyone knew. You know who else knew? Barack Obama. Look at this liar. Peachy Keenan. Hey, Jake Tapper, for your hard-hitting book on how everyone knew Biden had dementia and covered it up. You asked Barack Obama about this tweet, right? Right. Here's Barack Obama back in June last summer in 2024 when he moved his mouth. And you know what happens when Barack Obama moves his mouth? Bad debate nights happen. He says, hey, everybody, it was a bad debate. Bad debates happen. About a boom, about a bing. Or what can you do? Sometimes you have a bad debate. Trust me, I know. No, you don't know Barack Obama. You never had a bad debate like Biden had a bad debate that night. But the election is still a choice between someone who has fought for ordinary folks his entire life and someone who only cares about himself, between someone who tells the truth, who knows right from wrong, and will give it to the American people straight, and someone who lies through his teeth for his own benefit. Can I have a witness? Last night didn't change that, and it's why so much is at stake in November. JoeBiden.com. This is my favorite line, though, because this is the gaslighting part. Did you guys find the gaslighting part of the whole tweet? Last night didn't change that. That's the gaslighting phrase, because in hindsight, now we know that that night changed absolutely everything. And Barack Obama, the magic black president, came in and waved his, Oprah said, like, is he the one? The one, waved his the one wand and granted it so, and brainwashed all of you and said, last night didn't change that. He's trying to use the word and will it into being. Wishful thinking, Barack Obama, didn't work. This goes all the way up the ladder, guys. This is going to get even worse because Barack Obama is a clown. Jake Tapper, journalist, clown, bunch of clowns, put the white makeup on, frilly rainbow rig, put the red honk nose on, big oversized shoes. You're all clowns. You know who's not a clown? Christopher Wray, the head of the FBI. This is the top tiers of your government. FBI Director Christopher Wray lying under oath to Matt Gaetz on Joe Biden's decline. I've shown you this one before. This is from years ago, but it shows how far up the top someone straight-faced lied to you about Joe Biden.
How often do you brief President Biden?
You mean on this specific
No, just generally.
case?
No, in your role as FBI director.
I mean, I don't know that I could give you a number.
Is it like weekly, monthly, daily?
It's not at a regular cadence. There have been times when there have been months at a time when I haven't, and then there have been times when several days apart I have.
There have been times when months apart I haven't talked to Biden, and then sometimes several days in a row. Thank you for the non-answer, Director Wray. Great jellyfish amoeba-like for the head of the FBI. You sure know how to skirt a question under oath. Good one.
It's always with other people.
The vice president, is she typically there?
Often has been.
Okay, so
Often. And what brilliant insights did Vice President Kamala Harris offer your FBI director? They have to cover like she's a normal human being, like she belongs in the room.
So when did you notice his decline?
In my interactions, in my role, all my interactions with the current president have been completely professional.
Right, but I mean the cognitive decline. I'm saying he treated you unprofessionally, just maybe not picking things up as quickly as he used to.
I love Matt Gaetz so hard here. He goes, when did you notice his decline? That's an accusation. And then he goes, oh no, he's always been professional. And Matt Gaetz is going like, look, I didn't ask if he was professional. I didn't ask if he put on a tutu and sprayed mud all over everyone in the room. I asked if you noticed his decline.
Again, I don't meet with him very often, but what you're describing
You'd notice it in one meeting.
is not something that I've observed during my interactions.
Okay, that's a lie. Under oath. Throw that Jack in prison. But the bigger thing is, even if no justice comes to him, because we all know that justice is pretty rare on the earth. I know our Constitution tries, but it's kind of like, nice try. It's kind of like Disney Plus and Netflix trying to entertain you, and you watch a movie and you go, nice try. Nice try at justice, trying to get justice on Christopher Wray, who lied under oath saying, I didn't notice anything. Yeah. Okay. So now you're either evil and lying or dumb and unaware that someone like Biden is in decline. That's all I'm going with today, guys. Hope you'll subscribe. More rants like this today, because I'm getting angry about the cover up. I don't like being lied to. And when someone lies to me, especially politicians, I'm just going to make fun of them all day. Guys, throw me a little sugar. Give me a little bit of a leash to make fun and just call them names. It's catharsis is what I'm going for here, guys. Hope you'll join me. Hope you'll subscribe. I can't make it to 1 million subscribers without you. I'm Doug in Exile.